just give me a little rough definition of what cybersecurity is.
Okay, so this is rough. Cybersecurity is basically the protection of a company, its employees, and its assets against any possible cyber threat or attack.
Okay.
In its simplest form.
Okay, so I have heard that cybersecurity is kind of one of those up and coming, this is where the future is. There's endless possibilities, endless opportunities. So is that true?
Nothing is more true.
Okay.
Right now, the cyber industry has 4 million open jobs. It's not going away. It's only going to get bigger.
4 million.
4 million.
Jobs. Oh.
4 million.
Oh.
So, I mean,
in this economy, that's pretty good.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, what we say is that this isn't a job. This is a career.
Okay.
And it's not shrinking anytime soon. It's only going to get bigger.
Right.
Everyone's putting more money into it, the government being one of them.
Yeah.
So it is a career. This is a long-term job that you will have for the rest of your,
So I kind of
your employee life cycle, basically. So,
well,
so
I kind of made a joke about, the economy, but a lot of people since COVID are still thinking about kind of stepping away in the industry or the job or the career that they had and looking for other ways to kind of, play out the rest of their work life or until they can retire. So what would be the advantages for them to go into cybersecurity, in terms of what would be the advantages?
Great question. Obviously, once COVID hit, everything did change. A lot more working from home, which is definitely part of the cyber field, not exclusively, but it does create for a lot of people, a better work-life balance. So if you're working from home, obviously you're not commuting, you're saving that time, you're getting that time back, and you have more flexibility.
Right.
Now, I'm not going to sit here and say every cyber job is completely remote, but the majority of them are at least partially remote.
Right.
So there's that aspect of it, and the more remote, the more protections that need to be in place. So that only feeds into the cyber beast of getting bigger and even more needy. So
okay, so I know that Cyber Inspired has something called Jumpstart.
That's correct.
And I'm still not quite sure what is involved in Jumpstart, so why don't you give me the rundown on that, because that has everything to do with starting a career in cybersecurity.
That it does. And everything's changing, so this is a very exciting time. You can enter the job force right now without a college degree, where that was pretty much a mandatory thing, especially in the cyber field and IT in general, right? You had to have certain training or certain certifications or just a college degree.
Right.
Now, our program basically is the low-level beginning introduction to get into the cyber field.
Okay.
So it's a 10-week online course. Right? And it basically, we try and identify, explain the different positions available in the cyber field to you, try and line you up with the correct one that we think fits best to your personality and your goals.
Right.
And then we give you a career path and draw it out with you, and what certifications you might need, how to enter the field, whether it be creating your online profile and how to correctly do that so your recruiters can find it. So when the algorithms are running, they can easily identify you, how to start posting about cyber, and just adding topics to your online presence.
Right.
So you can be, you'll be considered more, because of course, same thing, the algorithm's running. So you put 2 and 2 together, and that's how you get found. And then just interviewing skills and all those things that you need to enter the field. We try and be much more hands-on than just saying, okay, run through our program, do the certification,
right.
That's it.
Right.
Good luck, God bless. We try and be more interactive and in one-on-one with you to provide a better career path and a little more personal experience.
Would you say that that's probably one of the things that separates Cyber Inspired from other educational programs that people might consider?
Definitely.
The one-on-one, the more
the mentoring.
Yeah, the mentoring.
Yeah, that is our focus. That we want to be a better mentor. We want to save you money. We want to get you in the field at a cost rate that isn't going to bankrupt you where you're coming out with these huge debts. So our program basically starts at $1,000, and that's a low number to find out whether compared to other programs.
Oh
out
my
there.
gosh, yeah.
Whether cyber is even for you, right? Before we start spending thousands and thousands of dollars to find out, yeah, it's just not what I want to do.
Yep.
Right? It happens.
It does.
And then if it is for you, we want to give you the best, quickest path to get into the field and create a good path where you're only getting the certifications you need to get instead of shooting all over the place. Like, do I need this? Do I need that? Our experts are already in the field, know exactly what you need and what to get in order to get into different positions.
Right.
So we're trying to give you the quickest way into the field, save you the most money, and get you in the job field making money. And then that's why I said this is such a changing landscape right now, because not only now are you making money without getting a college degree, but if you want a college degree, which we're all for, and further certifications, many times your company will then reinvest in you and pay for you to get these certifications, your degree, or whatever avenue you want to push forward with.
Right.
So you're winning on both sides, because now you're making money and not paying money.
Yes.
And then the money you would have paid to get these certifications or college degree, now you're getting financed through your company.
Yeah.
So that's the best case scenario.
It's really, really important nowadays, because college, even if you just go to college for 2 years, a lot of people go to a community college because they're like, I don't know what I want to do. I want to check some things out. They'll go to that community college. They're still spending a ton of money. And after 2 years, if they're still not sure, they're kind of coming out with, all right, I'm still not sure where I want to go. To just invest, for a baseline of $1,000 to invest and say, okay, let me see where I can go with this. It's even something that you can get certified, and if you want to come back to, there's a lot of value in having something that you can do. And if you think, okay, or if your life changes, like for me being a woman, my life changed when I had a baby. So if something comes into your life that changes and you're like, okay, I kind of have to stop this for a little while, it's something you can come back to.
I mean,
that's invaluable.
Most definitely. And I don't want to downplay the value of college. It's certainly important.
Oh no, yes.
There's definitely a different path now.
Yes.
So we work with some colleges, and they're more than happy, because then, of course, they need the money. So you have to pay for their service, right?
Right.
So if a company is paying for it, they know they're going to get paid, and as long as you're performing, of course, the company's going to have standards. You're going to have to reach certain, maintain a certain GPA or whatever their criteria may be. But of course, then they're getting the money anyway. Like they want to get paid for the service they provide.
Exactly.
So if a lot of, and they're not sure, and then they have financial problems or restrictions or having trouble getting financing for college. Now the college is more likely to say, okay, you're out in fields, you're working, you're creating income. So A, you can either pay for it yourself through the income you're creating, or B, your company is paying for you to come back, so they know they have a solid revenue stream. So you're going to continue on and ultimately finish.
Yes.
So it actually is a win-win in that way as well.
Yes.
So, and we always recommend furthering your education. So we're just trying to create a different path where you can get in and to reduce some of the financial strain and pressure that's on.
It's an affordable option that people can use either as a base to then build on, or kind of grow their career from that base, from what they've learned.
Right, and it helps relieve the financial pressure. And
Absolutely.
There's no pressure like financial pressure.
It's the affordability that really makes
it's
this
just
a great option.
If you look at it as a true business standpoint, this is a much better situation. If you're not coming out with this huge debt, which now you have to earn X amount in order to pay down.
Yep.
So by rearranging some of the puzzle pieces here, you're basically coming out with a much better perspective, like much better financial health perspective, which is very exciting. It's just as a new, like, the spectrum's moved, and certainly the cost of college has increased significantly over the last 10 to 15 years. So it's just a workaround to get that done. So,
are there any? I know that this is something that anybody who has an interest can step into. But are there certain types of candidates or maybe kids coming out of high school who would really, like I have a nephew, he loves coding. I don't even know what coding is. I just know it has something to do with the computer, I think. I'm not even sure. How embarrassing is that? But that's the whole reason we're having the conversation.
Right.
For a kid like my nephew who likes coding, is this like, could this be a natural progression into cybersecurity? Or
I mean, coding is definitely a person who will easily translate into cyber.
oh, okay.
But we always say you don't have to be a coder
Right.
to get into cyber.
Right.
Because that is what scares a lot of people away. Like, I'm not a coder.
Right.
And coding isn't for everybody. It's a very, it's an intense language. And
is it? Okay, because like I said, I have no idea what it is. He said I like it.
You have to
okay.
like it, right?
Yeah.
But not every position requires that. So a lot of them, like analyst positions, you have to understand how coding works. You don't have to be a code writer.
Okay.
So, and definitely kids coming out of high school or early in college, if you're a gamer,
I was just thinking that.
translate.
What if you're like someone who is in the gaming community?
Because cyber is a game in a lot of ways. It's a game being played out. It's a cat and mouse game, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you have people trying to get in. I mean, the career, the white hat hacker, which is the good guy, basically is a penetration tester trying to get in, trying to find the weak points, so you know what to protect against. And then there's a defensive person who's also trying to protect against, white hat, get in. So that's just a game of how to get in and how to stop somebody from getting in. I mean, some of IT is shrinking. A lot of that is moving inside.
Yes.
So, but you don't have to be. You can start with, just really basic skills. And if you have just that love of tinkering or love of poking around in a computer, certainly you're a person that translates.
Honestly, for someone like me, and I know that I'm older, but for someone like me who, when I grew up, it wasn't uncommon to go right from high school into a job because, back in the day, you could start in the mailroom and you could work your way up. It's a lot harder to do that nowadays. And I couldn't afford to go to college back then. So to know that there's an option like this where it's a low cost investment in the grand scheme of things, and you can come out of high school if you're not quite ready, or you don't really quite know where you want to go with it, and you can make a minimal investment and you can kind of start to build that base toward a career. I feel like, I don't know, I just feel like it's an opportunity and a possibility that a lot of kids haven't had in a long time.
And I think you made a great point there. Like, what's old is new. So before it was, you could possibly get out of high school and get a job and without going to college. And then it became a big push, definitely through my generation.
Yes.
Where you had to go to college in order to get a corporate job.
Right.
Per se. Now it's kind of gone back where now the need is so heavy that companies are just willing to say, if you come out, you have these basic skill sets, that's what we're looking for. So if you have these, the degree is not a necessity anymore. And like I said, they're more than happy usually for either pay for your degree or certainly add funding towards that, or sometimes it's just more certification so that you remain up to date in the field. But that's why it's such an exciting time in cyber right now. It's just, there's so many possibilities and the window is just wide open right now. Of course, now it's going to shrink. So that's why I always tell people the time is now.
Right. It's like you have to see what's up and coming and jump into it so that you can kind of secure your.
I mean, the cyber window is going to stay open, but of course, more and more candidates are moving into cyber.
Yeah.
So it's never going to be as wide as it is right now, but it's going to stay steady. So long-term growth is still there, but right now it's just a real good time to get in because you're kind of getting in at the beginning level before it really explodes. So it's just so many opportunities out there, so much like upward movement available right now inside.
So opportunities, possibilities, affordability.
I mean,
and a great base to build on. I mean, I don't know. Kind of has all the elements.
Yeah. I mean, what more else can we say? What more else can we say?
Not much, I don't